Hey everybody, welcome to the Cyber Monday show. First off, no make today, so if you're watching this live or on the replay, comment F to pay respects. Second off, if you're watching this live or again on replay, I guess it doesn't really matter. If you hear loud music, apologies. I'm actually having a party and I did not want to do it live, but what can I say? I'm just a real party hound. But it's worth having a party today because we are joined by an absolute superstar, ladies and gentlemen, Poncho. How's it going?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Ah, thriving. And actually, the Raven was wanting me to tell him how I'm doing, and I'm doing great. I'm doing fabulous. So good. So good. Well, Pancho, thank you so much for jumping on. For a lot of folks are watching this from the Republic of Hackers, but in case people are either new to Republic of Hackers and haven't had a chance to meet you yet, or are about to join Republic of Hackers, by the way, if you haven't joined, link in the description. Uh, do you mind just kind of introducing yourself, talking about your cybersecurity journey thus far?
Thank you for having me, by the way. My name is Poncho. I'm a threat ops analyst and I'm from the Republic of Hackers. Big up that Discord team, by the way. Uh, so, I don't know where to start with my journey. I started in slums. I started in as a first line IT analyst way back when, many a year ago. I'm not that old, by the way. um, I, that's literally where I started. I don't know where you want me to go from there.
No, that's great. What got you into, I guess, getting into tier one realm?
Oh, well, I was fresh out of school. I never went to university. I never went to college either. I always knew I wanted to be in IT, but I didn't really know much about cybersecurity back then. It was sort of a foreign concept. So started off in IT, learned my basics, my foundational knowledge. Went, and then a couple of years later, I started mixing around with Red Team. So, playing around with tools and learning Linux and about Kali and things like that. And then I now work for a cybersecurity organization as a malware analyst.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm super curious on kind of the transition from tier one to pen testing and to now to malware analysis because I started internships with a help desk. I feel like that's so like foundational and helpful to kind of get that tier one experience to kind of see day to day what all is going on uh,
Yeah.
before diving into some of the other cybersecurity roles. Was it helpful transitioning over to pen testing? Having that background experience and knowledge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd always recommend people having a foundational knowledge in IT. I started off in the help desk too, first line, second line, third line support, and then moving over to sort of infrastructure. But, the basics, you'll always go back to the basics. And not only that, it teaches you sort of social skills, I guess, how to talk to people, how to take jargon and explain it to people that don't understand technical shit. Sorry. Uh, in layman's terms, that sort of thing as well, because you won't always be talking to technical people, folk. Even when you do move into cybersecurity. But I was never a pen tester. So I did a certain part of Red Team, but it was never pen testing. But I wanted to move over to blue teaming because I was very sick and tired of writing 600-page reports.
I can't imagine why.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I'd ever want to leave that.
Yeah, report writing, that's the
Mm,
best.
of
What the
course it
heck?
is. Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And I love the point that you made about communicating with non-technical folks and translating the technical jargon to non-technical terms. I think that's so important. And I think that, that's something that's oftentimes missed.
Yeah,
I think the importance of that's missed a lot in cybersecurity education even. Um,
absolutely.
what are some of the keys to that you picked up along the way?
Well, not just, being able to dumb down technical knowledge, but it's also talking to other people, you know. I think in being in cybersecurity now for the past couple of years, you do meet people that lack in social skills. They find it very difficult to talk to a certain gender and just to people in general. And I think it's nice to, be personable and have a bit of a personality and just, yeah, not be the stereotype.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's such a dense field too, even.
Yeah,
So it's like, layering on just like the social anxieties and kind of the interpersonal communication skills. Also, in many ways, it's almost like translating one language to a whole other one. And
yeah,
that requires its own like level of skill and knowledge in both languages for sure.
absolutely.
What do you think on that?
No, I think that's completely true. I hate public speaking, and not just in the sense of talking to so many people, even being in sort of a Zoom or a podcast, and there's people watching, or you need to talk about a topic in front of so many different people. I lose everything that's in my mind, so my mind goes blank, and I completely understand that can happen during with social anxiety. It's uh, it's not something that's talked about enough, I think. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree 1000%. I guess one last thing on the tier one before moving on. What were some of the, I guess, security stumbling blocks that you notice very frequently amongst people that maybe we as a security industry maybe struggle to address?
Oh, I think it's right down to the basics. People don't want difficult passwords to remember because we just can't, can we? We'll write them down on post-it notes. Not me. Not anymore.
Definitely me. I'm a big post-it note guy. People may not
Oh, yeah.
realize.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All of them on post-it notes and or a dot text file on the laptop. That's always
Plain
handy.
text. Yep.
Yeah. Plain text, definitely, all the way. No, but I think we just need to make security a bit better for, regular folk. Help them look after all their passwords, etc. Make sure they're not giving information away. But yeah, passwords, sticky notes. That that was a big thing.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can definitely see how that's a how that could be a huge issue. Absolutely. I've encountered that too a little bit on my journey too, where it's like it can be sometimes a very frustrating conversation where you're trying to communicate password managers, but
Yeah,
sometimes folks just don't know what they don't know, and
yeah,
that's where the patience comes in.
absolutely. You should always be patient with people that are not in that field.
Yeah, 100%. So, bounce from tier one to, I guess as you said, like working a little bit with pen testers or a kind of pen testing. Um, how did that transition go, and what were some of the things you learned while you were there?
Um, a lot of the things I learned, probably mostly how to report right. Documentation, that is probably one of the biggest things that I learned. You need to document every single thing. And if you don't, you'll just forget it. You know, I don't know a lot of people that can remember everything. That was probably one of my biggest takeaways. Pen testing's not really for me. I didn't do a lot of it. I did work with a few of them, but yeah, not my forte, unfortunately. More of a blue teamer.
No, I feel you on that for sure. On the report writing, what are what was something that surprised you about it that maybe folks haven't talked about, I guess, publicly about the pen testing side and report writing?
Every single change that you make has to be screenshot and then a reason given as to why you did what you did and go from there. But there's a lot of red tape too. Just saw I just saw Josh's comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot every single thing that you do, there needs to be a reason for it. a screenshot, and that is just constant throughout your report. But when I say documentation, the what I took away from it is that when you document, you're showing your employer or other people that, this is what I've been doing, and this is how it's laid out, and I'm learning, I'm trying to be a better analyst, for example.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Documentation is it can be a very frustrating step, but I feel like that's often from a blue team side why it often gets neglected, just because it can
Yeah,
often feel monotonous.
absolutely. But if you're learning new things and you can document it, I think that's always good. Not just for other people, but for yourself, so you can go back on it. That's how I see it anyway.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. And then I guess we're kind of catching up to present day, jumping from there back to blue team, now
Oh,
doing
yeah.
malware analysis.
Yeah.
First off, how does it feel being back on blue team?
Uh, I really enjoy it. I don't think I'd leave. And if I did, I'd probably want to do more so purple teaming. I'd never go to the dark side again.
Never again. Never happening again. I love it. That's yeah, man. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Sometimes it feels like everyone's kind of flocking to the red team side, but
Yeah,
blue team, blue team can be where it's at for sure.
absolutely. And there's so much to it. Blue team isn't just being stuck in a sock in a basement and reading logs all day. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
there's you can be a malware analyst. That's blue teaming. And you'll see a lot of shit. Sorry.
What got you into malware analysis?
Um, I actually I applied for the job, thinking, this looks extremely interesting, and I got the gig, and then I kind of just fell into it.
I like it. That's like the best way. That's the best way for that to work.
Yeah, I think it was meant to be. It's just one of those things. But now I enjoy it. There's so much to malware I didn't realize, and the amount of stuff that you learn is incredible, and the places you can go. And what I'm doing at the moment, I'm going back to the IT basics every single day, So yeah, it's good. It's good. I enjoy it.
I like it. I like it. And I guess that kind of ties into, so makeshift is in the comments. He's harassing us, even though he can't be on the stream. He's in the comments section. How dare he?
Oh no.
But he asks, what do you like best about where you work currently?
As in the company, or
It could be that, could be just task related, could be however.
the company's brilliant, Haven't got a bad word to say about it. It's probably one of the best companies I've worked for in a long, long time. Definitely. I'm working alongside people that have so much knowledge, and it's nice that they share it. I'm a big believer in learning from my colleagues, co-workers, etc. And they bring so much value to the team. I've when I say I've gone back to my IT basics, I'm going back to sort of the digital forensic stuff. Where you're going through your Windows logs, like using tools like Chainsaw and Strum. I've learned how to reverse engineer malware. Um, Learning what static and dynamic analysis is, things like that. Even using tools on Flare VM, which is created by FireEye. Just there's just so much. I wouldn't. Oh yeah, and yeah, no, they're really great people to work with.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How important is something like work culture and just like having a good environment like that to, I guess, having a good, or to maintaining a strong like op tempo with the security side, and I guess also getting better analysis as a malware analyst.
Um, what do you mean? As in like working with your co-workers and that?
Yeah.
In what sense? Like,
Uh, yeah, we'll scrap the question. I don't even think I would. Right. Make asked another one. What's been your favorite thing to do thus far at your job?
Oh, probably catching threat actors, but I really enjoy catching red teamers and pen tests that happen. That probably makes my day because it's just like, you got caught, so do better.
Do you get to like ping them in teams and just kind of like laugh at them, like not even say any like words, just laugh over teams?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then we'll just send a report to the partner, our customer, and be like, we caught a red team, so there we are. And they're always very happy when we do. They're like, "Oh God, we're so happy that you caught this. It's brilliant." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I think we also caught a state actor once. Who else did we? We caught a an American private organisation too, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say, so I won't. I'd, I'd like to stay alive, but yeah, we caught one of them.
I'm so curious. Now you've piqued my curiosity. I guess I don't want to get you in trouble on the state actor or the private entity,
Yeah,
but yeah, dang, I won't dig into it. But that's interesting.
you
That's
see a lot of
interesting.
stuff, but it's so nice that we catch it. It's nice to have the tools to be able to do that, and
Yeah,
then laugh at them when they do get caught.
that's true. I guess you could always email like their contact us email and just kind of like laugh at them over email too. That's messed
Yeah.
up. Anyway, the Raven comments asking, knowing the role is newer for you. How do you manage your work life balance?
Oh, I would highly recommend not downloading Slack on your phone
I agree.
because you will always go to it and then, yeah, you'll just be scrolling for hours. And then because the company is in the US and I'm in the UK, the time difference there's exciting stuff happening right now, and it's like, I don't know, 3 p.m. their time, and you just want to get involved, or we've caught some new kind of malware, or I don't know, some shit's going on, and it's you just want to get involved. But I manage it well. I'll tell everyone see you later, and then I'll just close the laptop lid and then scroll on my phone.
I definitely think that's a play, though. I completely agree with you. I feel like that does tie a little bit into Republic of Hackers. But before
Yeah.
we dive into that too deep, I guess, what got you involved with Republic of Hackers?
uh Makeshift, actually. I This was a couple
Ooh.
of years back now. I know. Awful. God. My life's never been the same. um, oh God, I don't remember when I joined. I think it must have been about 2 years ago, off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. The Discord was really nice when I joined, and there's so much to learn. There's still so much to learn. You can ask a question in, like the Get Help tab, and you know, you'll have like five people answer your question with like super helpful stuff, or I shouldn't say stuff, more like resources, and then you'll get the one heckler. So that's always nice. Resource and banter.
Is,
Uh,
does that heckler's name happen to arrive with Vaven?
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. But no, if you, I would highly recommend anyone to join the Republic of Hackers group. Hackers. Uh,
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And I completely agree. And again, if you're watching this on replay or live and you're not there yet, there's a link in the description. Check it out. Um,
yeah.
what would you say is like your favorite section of a Republic of Hackers or channel of Republic of Hackers to hang out in and learn things from?
At the moment, it changes mind. You know, at the moment, probably the blue team one. Just because it relates to what I do daily. I'm quite active in chat. I've, General chat too. You get to talk to a lot of people. Sometimes, talking to certain people in like DMs, things like that. But yeah, oh, hacker streams is a really good one, especially if you're streaming. There's so many people that will help you out, and if you are struggling, you'll be fine. But blue team at the moment, a lot of good resources in there right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Those are some and the hacker streams I think is super cool. For people that aren't aware, people will
Yeah,
just they'll be on like try hack me or hack the box or Vulnhub or
yeah,
whatever, and they'll just be like live streaming themselves like working through a box, and you
yeah,
can learn so much about the different techniques and tools that are being employed. And yeah, it's so cool.
absolutely. And we have a lot of people that uh constant streamers, I want to say, which is really good. Keeps it active, and they yeah, they're good fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 1000%. I get, tying this into the Ravens question on work-life balance. Do you feel like Republic of Hackers does it feel like it's a nice break from work? Is it kind of like an in between? Does it sometimes, if you're constantly thinking cybersecurity, do you feel like you run out of time to just kind of like pursue your own passion projects or non cybersecurity related stuff, or how does that relationship work with the work-life balance?
Well, so I've got ADHD, so for me, I don't really see work or ROH, stuff like that in the way I guess people without ADHD would see it. So I would never see Republic of Hackers Discord as I don't know how to word it, as like a burden, if that makes sense. Like I'm happy to just sit in there and talk and speak to people and sort of go through it and see what people are posting and and just sort of connect with it all because I'll do the same online on Twitter and things like that. But I definitely try to have a healthy work life relationship with my actual job, because you can't be switched on 24/7, can you? And I I need constant brain stimulation. So if I get bored, I'll just switch off anyway. So I guess that's got a bit of a superpower in that way.
No, I think that's awesome. I think that's handy for sure.
Yeah, it is.
For sure. Uh, Make had a comment on well, let me read his comment. Who watching thinks malware analysis is cool? Well, one, absolutely, comment down. I don't know why I read that and thought like live streaming malware analysis. Is that a thing that could happen on Republic of Hackers? Not to put you on the spot, but
Yeah,
live streaming, like, breaking down malware and kind of pointing out the things that you're looking for and the key takeaways for others that are interested in diving into this.
absolutely. I do that day to day. I've written a lot of documentation on it, sort of screenshotting what I'm doing and then putting it into Word. So live streaming it wouldn't be a problem at all. And there's a lot of cool malware out there that would actually be fun. But I hope people would actually understand what the hell I'm doing.
I guess that actually is an interesting segue because I mean, the constant argument in tech is like, do you need to know how to code? And that
No.
obviously, okay, so no, that's so interesting. So with malware analysis, even,
Yeah.
you don't need to know how to code. Is it, I guess, helpful to obviously like know how to read it, right? Or is it a lot of it just context?
Yes and no, because in some malware you'll see strings and it's so obvious. But you need to know, I'd always recommend everybody to learn PowerShell because then there's those people who know it and those people who don't. You don't need to learn to code in Python or C sharp or, etc., etc., because a lot of the tools that you use, I'm not going to say it's self explanatory because actually they're not, but when you're constantly doing the same thing day in and day out, you're going to pick it up. It might be hard to do it when you're not in the actual role itself, and that's fair enough. But yeah, you don't need to be a programmer, but you need to understand what you're looking at because well, you wouldn't know if it's malicious or not. But then again, a lot of malware is self-explanatory if you're looking at it through I guess, the tool that your organization has, because then you can see, the file path and the command and what it's executing, etc. So yeah, I guess it's in yes and no. You don't need to be a programmer. No.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that. PowerShell. I think yeah. I think that's so cool. Uh, For I guess somebody that's kind of interested in getting into malware analysis, and let's say they're just getting started, like
Yeah.
maybe they're just starting on their cybersecurity fundamentals. What would you say that they focus on right now that can set them up for success down the road?
Oh god. Uh oh, it depends on what they know right now. Because I would always recommend people to have foundational IT knowledge first. So learn how well Windows works, basically, on a PC, and then sort of learn about Event Viewer and Windows event logs, the logs within Event Viewer, etc., and what an executable is. That is a big one. Learn what an executable is and what it does, and the different parts of it, and research malware. Like, research what malware does. There's so much out there, like Catbot and Emotet and TrickBot and even coin miners. I call them, yeah, I'd call coin miner malware actually. There's a word called a potentially unwanted program, which is used for, I don't know, crap like Yahoo browser, or shit like that. Sorry. Um, yeah, I would, yeah, learn those things. And you don't need to dive straight into reverse engineering malware. There's no point reverse engineering something if you don't even understand what it does or what you're actually looking at. So, yeah.
Yeah, that you taught me something. Potentially unwanted software or
Program.
program. Yep.
Yeah. A pup.
A pup. See, that's adorable.
Yeah.
This computer is just laden with puppies. Isn't that great? Yeah, nuke it, destroy
Just
that
destroy
machine.
that.
Dorian asks a really excellent question. What is your favorite flavor of malware to analyze?
Ooh. Probably Cobalt Strike, actually, because it's so easy.
Okay. Okay.
And I use my favourite tool, which is CyberChef. So I could
Cyber
live
Chef is the
stream.
best.
CyberChef is probably the best tool the government has ever actually given us without making us pay. And yeah, I use CyberChef probably almost daily as well. Fantastic tool. I would definitely recommend anyone that wants to get into malware analysis to use that, and use TryHackMe. They teach you all that stuff on there. So get all the kids into it. But yeah, I can live stream Cobalt Strike, uh, reverse engineering it, if that's what you want to call it. Um, my worst kind of malware, though, to go to the opposite, probably Fileless malware. Malware that executes and then just deletes itself. Why? Why?
I love it. I love it. That's the best. That's the best. How do you actually? So this is interesting. How do you analyze that? Or is it really just diving into logs and trying to identify behavior and trying to, like, I guess, learn about it after the fact, or are there artifacts that are left behind? Like, how do you piece all that together?
So, I don't know if a lot of people have heard of it, but FireEye created Flare tools, or Flare VM. So you basically load up a Windows 10 machine, and then you can go to, I guess you can type in Flare VM and then chuck that on your Windows 10 machine, and you'll have a range of tools you can use to dissect malware. You know, I But before you even get into that, it's always good to perform static analysis, which is looking at what it is. Is it an exe file or a .bat file or a .bbs file, and sort of starting from the very beginning. You don't always need to pull logs. It depends on what you're looking at. You know, I guess it feels something like, I don't know, like a .vbs file. You can literally, you know, task that file from the host and then look at the VBS yourself. And it depends on what it's doing. It could be calling on a .bat file or a .bat file calling on a .vbs. I'm talking a load of crap now, sorry. There's too many acronyms flying around. But yeah, Flare VM and a lot of their tools. But then static analysis, though. It depends.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's so interesting. The first time I learned about, like, kind of just at a more academic level how fileless malware works, I was kind of like, that's like, what the heck? That sounds like a great thing to do if you're an attacker, because like, how the heck are you gonna, I guess, run forensics on that? But it sounds like there are means and methods.
Absolutely. There will always be, something left behind. This is, especially on a Windows machine. It's Microsoft. They're recording everything.
Would you say is it? Would you rather analyze malware on that? Let's say it's already detonated.
Mm.
No need to get too crazy on like the kind of malware it is. So whatever. But would you rather analyze it on a Windows machine or a Linux machine? And is there much of a difference in between?
Well, you can use Linux. You can use Remnux, which is a another version of, I guess, I don't know what to call it actually. I don't really use it. I prefer to do it on a Windows machine using Flare tools or, having the tools that you need. One, I find it easier. Two, it's what I know. And three, it's user friendly because then you don't need to sort of be going through all of the Linux commands. Even though I would highly recommend people do learn Linux, definitely. But yeah, Windows.
Since you use mostly Windows, would it be helpful to know Windows commands, or are you able to operate from GUI?
You can operate from the GUI. You can use Linux and PowerShell. There's a program on there called Commander, which you can use Linux through as well. It's entirely up to the analysts themselves, really. But yeah,
That's cool. That's
yeah,
cool. I like it. I know that it's getting pretty late, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. But if what's some advice that you have for folks that are watching that, again, maybe they're a bit earlier in their cybersecurity journey, and maybe they're getting just kind of frustrated with some roadblocks that they're encountering.
yeah. Don't lie on your CV.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Just be honest. Another one. You can teach someone a job, but you can't teach them to have a personality. So be yourself. And it's okay to be nervous in an interview. It's okay to say you don't know in an interview. Absolutely. We're hiring someone right now that is super, super junior. She knew more than she thought she did. But also, use the tools that are out there, like try hack me and hack the box and use the Republic of Hackers Discord. There's so many people on there that will teach you so much. You don't need to be best friends with cyber rock stars to get a job in cybersecurity because I'm not friends with any of them and I'm chilling.
That's
So,
like a great mic drop right there. That's such a good mic drop.
but yeah, and yeah, just be yourself. Learn. You got to have passion for what you want to do, because if you want to be a malware analyst, you are sometimes going to be doing repetitive stuff day in and day out. You have to enjoy what you do. And there's so many different aspects of cybersecurity. It doesn't have to be technical.
Yeah, I think that's such great advice. I like that. If I may squeeze one more question before we call it, Dorian dropped a good one. I think that I'd love to get your thoughts on. What do you see more infections in, Linux or Mac?
Ooh. That is a very good question. Okay, so I can answer the Mac part. The top 10 malware right now for Mac is adware, which is nothing. For Linux, I have not actually come across any malware or infections for Linux yet, but I will be now on the lookout. I'm
Well,
gonna look into that tomorrow, actually.
you'll have to like have like a tag in your documentation called Dorian. So anytime you encounter a Linux malware, you can be like, hey, there it is.
Absolutely. No, that would be super interesting. That is something. Oh yeah, I'll definitely have a look out for that. But yeah, Mac malware. Just I'm trying to find malware for Mac at the moment that I can analyze and detonate, but I just can't find anything. So if anyone wants to be kind enough and send me some malware, I would really appreciate it.
Your inbox, I'm so sorry. You've just invited a lot of pain, a lot of malware pain.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get malware, but some of it's gonna detonate a lot faster than you hoped.
Oh God.
Hopefully not. Nobody do that. But I guess I hate to drag this on, but I think it's so interesting on Mac security because I'm a Mac guy. Um,
Me too.
is it really is it just because it's I guess a more closed environment and attackers don't see it suitable to create malware for it or for Macs, or are there security features that are unique to Apple devices?
I don't think it's just that. And if there is anything that, if there is a security issue with Apple, they seem to just fix it like that. You know, you can't even sort of get your hands on it and, and sort of mess around with it. They will just fix it instantly, as opposed to Microsoft. No shade. Um, but yeah, yeah. Top 10 is adware, which is basically pup, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true off the top of my head or if this technically makes sense, but aren't all the apps on a Mac and iPhone, etc., all sandboxed? So if anything happens within that particular environment, it doesn't spread. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, that sounds right because I feel like I read something about that. I mean, it's been a hot minute, so I need to go back
Yeah.
and verify, but that sounds essentially accurate.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of environment they have set up. But
It's just
yeah.
so smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, Macs well, iOS, Apple OS, etc. is built off Unix. So
Mhm.
that's another thing.
So buy Apple products, everybody.
Oh yeah.
This whole podcast is brought to you by Apple. Just kidding. No sponsorships. But
No, no.
anyway, we'll say it's sponsored by Republic of Hackers, and you can find Poncho on Republic of Hackers. So again, check it out. It's a great time. Poncho, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you for staying late. Sorry to keep you out too late,
No
especially on a
problem.
Monday. Mondays are the worst. So I hate to drag your Monday on, but
It makes me feel young. I haven't stayed up this late since I was 21.
they won't. Hey, there you go. And we kicked it off with that music going on earlier.
I
So
know.
hey,
That was real nice.
it is a legit party.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button. Hit that like button. And if you haven't joined the Republic of Hackers, check it out. And we will see you all next week. See you.
See you.